Our project for this unit involves modeling. We have spent some time looking at linear growth models, exponential growth models, and we've learned some techniques about like collecting the data, looking at that scatter plot, and looking to see what kind of relationship is there. So in this project, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go out, we're going to find some data. Now, this is data you can collect yourself, ask a bunch of friends for various types of things, or go online and find the data that way. I've listed a few examples like comparing arm span to height. You could do shoe size to height. You could do tuition to the year. You could do median salary to the year for a particular job. Whatever you are interested in, find something that you can compare two sets of data. All right, now for that data, you are going to have to get at least 10 to 12 pairs of data. Make it manageable. I mean, if you want to go a little beyond 12, that's fine, but keep it pretty manageable, but do at least 10 so that we have enough to look for the pattern. If you do go online to find the data, you need to give me the very specific URL you use so that I could click on that and open up the page and see the raw data that you're using in your report. The other thing is that website should not include a model that's already done. That's the point of this exercise. Okay, so we go collect some data, and then what are we going to do with it? Well, you're going to make a presentation for me. You're going to give me an introduction. What are you looking at and why? What was the whole point of looking at this besides the teacher told me to? Then you're going to tell me what you expect to find. Do you think there's going to be a connection between this data, or do you think I'm probably not very optimistic? I don't think there's a real connection here at all. Do you think it's going to be linearly related so that there's a consistent amount of change between units, or is it more of an exponential type of relationship? What do you think? Then tell me the process. How did you get that data? And it doesn't have to be very lengthy, but I want to be able to reproduce this if I wanted to do the same project you just finished. Okay, so here's where you'd put in the URL or tell me how you surveyed and got information from people. Then you make a nice presentation of your data, your scatter plot, and your trend line, your equation, your R-squared. If you look back at our mini lecture playlist, I did go through a video that talked about that modeling and showing you what that would look like. So if you're not sure, go back and take a look at that. Then the application. We talked about interpolating and extrapolating. So you're going to do both with this project. You're going to take the equation that you came up with, the one you think is the best fit, no matter if it's linear, exponential, or something else, whatever fits the best, use that model and a point within the original data set and tell me what it would give me for an answer. So for example, if I'm comparing wingspan and height. So if I collected all the heights of people and they were all between 5'2" and 5'8". So 5'2" is 62 inches, 5'8" is 68 inches. So I might say, okay, what was someone who is 64 inches? What would my model say their wingspan should be? Okay, that's interpolating, it's within. But then to extrapolate, I'd have to go beyond my original data set. Well, I didn't have anybody over 5'8". So if I said, well, what happens when someone's 6 foot tall or 72 inches, what would their predicted wingspan be? Okay, so you got to do both. And then show me how you're doing that. I want to see not just answers, I want to see the calculations. Again, you should be giving me everything that's needed for someone to reproduce this exactly and know exactly how to get your answers. And then just a couple sentences, a conclusion. Were your expectations met? Were you surprised at anything? If you were going to redo this, what would you maybe change to get better results? That sort of thing. Right? I don't like surprises, and so I don't want to catch you off guard. So I've given you the rubric here that's very clearly delineating what my expectations are in each of those categories, what things you have to make sure you are putting in your presentation, in your report, so that you can get full credit, right? If you have any questions about any of these expectations or questions about the source of data that you're using, if it's acceptable, just send me an email and I'll be happy to review that and answer your questions. My door is always open. So good luck with this project. Hope you enjoy it.